The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost Here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Future Tech Podcast. My name is Josh Thomas and I'm here with Ivar Duserud from Bitspace. And Bitspace is a technology company specializing in blockchain and exponential technology, and they're serving the industry as an incubator of blockchain startups. Hello, Ivar.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on.
Excellent. So this is an industry that has exploded in the last 12 to 18 months. And, it seems like these days everywhere you turn, every company is tokenizing their efforts and using smart contracts and distributed ledgers. Tell me a little bit about what was the inspiration for creating an incubator?
Yes, so we started building Bitspace more than 2 years ago, and what we saw that the space was growing very fast, and there were a lot of business ideas out there that we wanted to see happening. Now, over time, of course, one after another of these business ideas we see get created by other startups. But then we also see that we are all stronger together if we work together and share the knowledge. And doing an incubator, being able to draw in the knowledge and the people and the connections seem to be the best way to move forward in order to build a community and create value.
Okay. And so tell me, as you've gone through this experience, 3 years for blockchain and Bitcoin is basically an eternity almost. What are some of the interesting developments that you've seen from your position as an incubator?
Well, I see a lot of different things, and I think the focus has changed quite a bit in the last few years. As services that we saw earlier was more aimed at the more technical segment of the adopters. Now we see services are more oriented towards consumers and users, and I think that's a very interesting development. We see more practical use cases, more projects that are being put into making businesses more effective.
Ivar, tell us a little bit about how Bitspace works essentially. How do you get started? Explain how somebody can come into this incubator.
So how we work is that we deal with all our clients on a case-by-case basis. We work with both startups and we work with established businesses. And we work either in terms of getting equity in projects. We invest in projects, and we also conduct consultation and blockchain development for those that would be in need of that. We also have different ways of doing promotion to our events that we're hosting annually.
Okay, and so that would be some of the benefits that your clients get from participating is they get to participate in your events and they get more exposure to your audience. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and so do you have any kind of token economics going on with this, or is it purely just we're going to take some percentage of your company as equity and help you grow?
Well, so at the moment we don't have any coin connected to our business here at Bitspace, but we are in the process of doing an ICO for one of our incubation projects. Now that incubation project is called BitGate, and it's now separated into its own shareholders company here in Norway. It's a decentralized exchange platform, which is a ambitious project, and we start by creating a Norwegian exchange service and building it from there. So we're in the process of raising money for that at the moment, and we will do an ICO at the end of the first quarter of 2008.
Excellent. So a forthcoming ICO at the end of the first quarter 2018 for BitGate, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And there will be more information on that on our websites, which are bitgate.no and bitspace.no. You'll be able to follow the progress on there, and we're in the process of preparing all the white papers and everything we need for that process.
Okay. Exciting times then, as you're moving this company into the next level. Tell me a little bit about you, Ivar. Before you got into Bitspace, what's your pedigree? What were you doing before this?
Yeah, so right now I'm 24 years old, and I got in contact with the founders of Bitspace a couple of years ago. At that time, I'd been a long-time student of Austrian economics, very interested in finance and economics in general, and I discovered Bitcoin in 2013 and dug more into it in 2014, and it really opened my eyes, and I saw a big potential. So then I met the founders of Bitspace in 2016 and got more and more involved. Been involved for full time for about a year's time, and it's been a very great journey. Also to see how the company has grown in that period from being only a few people at the start, and now we're a bigger organization with more than 20 employees and a community and so many things going on.
Okay, and as you transitioned into this industry, what were some of the challenges that you have encountered through the years? Yeah,
there have been some challenges, and I think a lot of it comes from the fact that this technology is so new, and it's quite hard to grasp at first unless you set aside quite a bit of time to understand. And especially a couple of years ago in Norway, the whole blockchain and crypto community was quite small. And I think also the fact that this technology is all about finance. Finance is something that people are very cautious about, and they don't want to take any risks. And what you know is what is safe. And so getting the message across and making people understand what this is about has been a challenge. But at the same time, it's very exciting to see how big the growth has been, especially in the last 6 months. How the community here in Norway is booming at the moment, and the knowledge in general is a lot more widespread. It seems like the biggest hurdles are behind us.
Okay, interesting. Interesting perspective. I've heard a lot of answers on that question, but very few people can agree one way or another. They either think the biggest challenges are ahead or the biggest challenges are behind us. I would say that, from my perspective, it seems like 2017 was kind of a breakout year for cryptocurrency specifically, and that has generated a lot of buzz and attention. And the path to widespread adoption is paved. It's just not quite there yet. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree, and I think that's exactly where the biggest need for services is at the moment. I think there's a new wave of adopters that are entering the space now that we didn't really have before. In earlier stages in this whole sector was dominated by technical people who understand the technology and have experience in that field, and of course also the libertarian movement. Now there is more, normal people, just people who are more normal people, I guess, and that requires different solutions that are able to handle bigger volumes as more people are adopting. And I think it's going to be more focused on the user experience as well, in order to make the experience, to make the services accessible to all the new people coming in.
So back to Bitspace, what do you feel is the biggest achievement that Bitspace has had since opening?
I would say our CryptoFinance conference last year was our biggest achievement so far. So CryptoFinance is our annual event that we started in 2015. Now we hosted the latest one last year in the fall, and it was twice as big as the year before and gained international attention. We had some of the biggest names from the state in Norway on stage, as well as some internationally big profiles. And this whole venue has been a great place for us to build network. And we did get a lot of good feedback from the conference last year, which has been very, very pleasant to hear. And the whole thing is very big to us.
Okay. So final thoughts, as we wrap up here, who should connect with you for Bitspace? Who's a good candidate to apply for your incubator?
I think startups in general in this blockchain space that look for guidance, especially here in the Nordics. People who look for capital, look for knowledge. We are very open to discover ideas and find solutions. And we'd love to hear from people who are interested in working with us. And feel free to take contact with us.
So Ivar Duserud from Bitspace, thanks very much for joining us. And to our audience, keep an eye out for the upcoming ICO. You can visit bitgate.mo for updates. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time here on the Future Tech Podcast.
The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.